recording just in case. And I'm going to share my screen. So very welcome to today's training. So today it is a two-part training. Today's training, we are looking at the individual, your own profile, what you can find on the MyLIASA website, etc. The second session, which we will sort out when, especially Ichbis is going to do the second session. Maritsipi and Ugo, if you want to retain the 12 o'clock slot on Friday, I will be there, so no problem. Ichbis, if you want to change, we will find a suitable time. So the second session is when we look at what you need to do for the branch or the interest group as a committee member, and that is also a hands-on session. You need to show competence that you can create and upload and do what you need to do. So today's session, you can follow along, but we're just going to go very quickly. It's also not a very long session. The next session is a bit longer than this one. So we're just going to have a quick look at the MyLIASA website, and then we're going to concentrate on the My Profile page. So I have started the recording. So if any of you need the recording, if you want to review later on, you're more than welcome to ask for the recording. And also, because I am sharing my screen, I can't always see a hand or a hand being raised or something in the chat. So we are very few people, which we like it that way. Feel free just to chip in, just to stop me and ask your question or make the comment. I will not take offense. I prefer it that way. Sorry if you can hear me swallow. Right, so the MyLIASA website, we all know, it is at www.liasa.org.za, and that is where you will find anything MyLIASA related. Typically, if you search through Google, if you type in MyLIASA or Library and Information Association, MyLIASA would be the very first search result. If we start right at the top, we have our social media buttons here in the yellow bar right at the top. So if you click on any of them, I'm just going to open in a new tab, otherwise it takes my screen away. It will go straight to the MyLIASA Facebook page or the MyLIASA Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, or YouTube, and soon we will have the TikTok button up there as well. Then on the other end of the yellow bar, you will have the Contact Us. Very easy. If you just click on it, it will open a little form that you need to fill in. First name, last name, telephone number, email address, and your comments are compulsory. The little red star tells you that it is compulsory. Put in your comment query, click submit, and as soon as it comes into our inboxes at the office, we will respond to your query. Okay, I say as soon as, but as quickly as we can. Obviously, after hours, if you need a password or something and you ask for it through this, if it's after hours, we will only see it next time we go to the office, which might be the next day or Monday or whatever the case might be. But this is just a nice, easy way for contacting us. If, for instance, you are on your phone, you don't have an email address to email us, or you can't phone, or you can't go through any other means, you can just click on Contact Us. Then you have your Sign In button here. So you can sign in by clicking there, or if you scroll right down to the bottom, you've seen there's also a Sign In block here. We'll do exactly the same thing. So I will go ahead, I could have just stayed there. I will go ahead and sign in. Just do the training profile. Before I sign in, before I hit that sign in button, I just want to let you, look at the black menu ribbon. We have the Career Center, we have members. So there are on that menu, there are member only content. So if you're not a paid up member, or if you are not, if you're not signed in, you are a paid up member, you're not signed in, or if you yeah, so if you're a paid up member, but you're not signed in, or if you are not paid up, you will not have that option. So we have Career Center members. So as soon as I sign in, you will see groups have been added in between Career Center and members. So as a member benefit, there are various items, various pieces of information, various pages that are only for members, and therefore it is a member benefit information that you can find there. So that was the sign in and sign out option. Typically, it doesn't sign out once you close your laptop for the evening or for the afternoon, for the day. It does not sign out. Every now and again, mine signs out all on its own. I don't know why it does that, but typically it doesn't sign out. So if you are on a public laptop or a computer, or you share it with colleagues, after you've signed in, once you are done, just make sure to sign out as well. Otherwise, they will have access to your profile. So before we look at the black menu ribbon, I just want to scroll to the bottom. Here we have a search box. As soon as we move away from this landing page, it will move to the top of the page, the search function. We have the list of professional librarians, those that have been awarded the designation, so you can search for that there. You have your latest news box, so any news that is in external media that we want to link, we can do here at the latest news. We have the calendar option, and then we have some profile options, and we're going to look at that on a different page in a moment. I want to go back to the calendar option. There's Fatima. So they're very faintly in a dark gray. Next to calendar, there is an option for more. So if you click on that, it will open the community calendar. And there was an email earlier that had a nice screenshot of this that shows the calendar. So at least some of you know where to find that. So you can scroll through this and see what is available on which activities are available. So when you plan, this might not be the best way to plan. So there's also a month view. So if you click on that, it will open it in a calendar format for you, which might be slightly easier if you need to do planning, because then obviously you can see in a calendar format which dates might still be available. So there we have the 3 events for today, 2 events for tomorrow, currently 1 for Thursday, etc., etc., etc. So just an easy way to see it. If you need to look at a different month, you can select a different month. You can even select other dates. I don't think we go as far back as 2017, and I'm not sure if we have added anything for future years. You click go and you have the calendar for that month. So that's just an easy way to, as a first step, if you need to book the Zoom, or if you want to have an event, just a first step to see if there might possibly something on that day. Of course, you always have to check with the office, because we don't put all meetings on here. If it's, for instance, just a meeting between 2 EXCO members, then we might not put it on this calendar. Let's close that. Go back to the landing page. So that was the calendar, and then we just have the membership fees there at the bottom. But let's go back up to the black menu ribbon. So we are on the landing page. So that would be your home button. So if you're anywhere else and you need to go to the landing page, you just click on home and you will be brought back to this very page. On the about page, typical information that we have for and about, it's the code of conduct and ethics, constitutions. There's a document library. We have our governance option. For instance, the restructuring, the white paper that we are inviting comments on currently, you will find there. So as soon as the green paper is available, it will be added underneath the white paper. Statements and messages that typically is sent out from the Office of the President, we add that to the statements and messages page, and then the vision and mission. Go through those pages, see what is there. Of course, a website is a living document. If you find links that are not working or spelling mistakes or anything that you think needs to be fixed, please contact us that we can do that. We really appreciate the help of our members. It is a rather big website, and we can't constantly go through each and every page to see what is there. And as you know, later you just read over your own mistakes. So we do appreciate it when our members assist us in keeping this a correct but living document. Next, we have all our grants and awards. Again, I'm not going to go through all of them. If you need more information on any one of them, you just click on it, and then we also usually put the recipients for the various years in a separate little tab that we have a record of that. Our next tab is our publications. The LIASA Bulletin is something new that we have started recently, or that Nazim, the current president, has started recently. And yeah, so if you need a copy of that, you can just click on it over there. Publications, you have your LIASA in Touch, you know, on this landing page. On this one, you will only get the first 3 or 4 pages. And if you need the full LIT, the full magazine, you will find it under Read the LIASA in Touch, and member signed in is required. So since we are signed in, if we click there now, we will be able to read it. Sage list, same, we will change that it also say that it will take you actually to the journal. So this one only gives information about the Sage list. Next tab will take you to the actual journal. Continue. So then we have a list of LIS related open access journals. Over here, it is not a complete list. At any time, if you know of other LIS related journals that we can add, open access journals that we can add to the list, send us the link, send us the name, and we can most certainly add it. It just makes it easier for the colleagues that are not working in an academic environment that has access to databases. If, for instance, we need access to a journal for a journal club or for general reading up on a topic or a subject, then we have access to these journals from here instead of doing a general search. Next, we have all the LIASA programs. Again, I'm not going to go through it. The conference, library week, librarians day, and so on. They're all listed here, so you can go through that. And we have training and development. Again, I will not go through all of them. Anything training and development that we have, we probably will put there. Then Skexel. So currently, actually, tomorrow there's a Skexel board meeting. We suspect that Skexel this conference might be postponed to 2023. And as soon as that changes, if that is confirmed, then we'll change that as well. Next, we have the Career Center. So that is where all the vacancies are listed. If you need to search for a vacancy, you can just click search openings. If you need to search for a specific vacancy, for instance, in a specific city or a country, if we have vacancies in different countries, or for instance, in a specific subsector, then you are most welcome to just click on whichever categories you are. Type of position, if you're only looking for part-time job, for instance, or you need to have something that requires a specific education level, or if you need something with a specific experience requirement. So you can put in some criteria if you want, and I think that would be most helpful if, for instance, we have hundreds of vacancies listed on the website. Unfortunately, we don't. And I'm way too lazy to go through this step. So I usually just leave all this blank. I go straight to search. and it would give me the list of all the vacancies that we have. So if, for instance, we had listed there that we want only vacancies in public libraries under our search criteria, none of this would have shown up because both of these vacancies are in the higher education sector. But to go to a vacancy, we just click on the title of the position, and it would open up the vacancy. And do we see, Ugo, where's your name? There we go. So as you can see, we have Ugo, who's on the training today, that is very kindly submitting all these openings for us as and when he comes across it. Right, so that is vacancies. Now there is one more step, and it's up to you if you want to do that. So you can subscribe to the Career Center. So if you click on subscribe, you have a list of the subsectors, and from here you can tick as many or as few as you want. If you're not in the job market, you're happy where you are, you don't need to know what vacancies are out there, then you can untick all of these boxes. If you only want vacancies in a certain sector, you only tick one, whatever is in your wheelhouse, you tick that. You click save your preferences. And once you have done that, of course, you get a little message there. Once you have done that, every time that we upload a new vacancy, then you will get an email message that says a new vacancy in this or that sector has been added. It will give you a link that will take you directly to the vacancy page. So you don't have to go through Career Center search openings, that filter page, search the listing, and to then click into the vacancy. It will take you straight there. And then you will also stay current on what is available. But of course, our circumstances change. So at any time, if you need to change it, you just go back to subscribe. It will always be at the top of the vacancy center, and you just save your preferences. Next, we have the groups. So the groups is the item that was added. So when you are signed out, there will not be any groups, will not be visible. It is only available for signed in members. So therefore, sign in to be able to see the groups, and we're going to work on these groups at your next session. So just a quick overview. So we have the branches, the interest groups, the COPs, the communities of practice, some committees, and some task teams. So if we look at, let's go to, I don't want to show IGBIS yet. So if we just go to Gauteng North, this is basically what the branch page would look like. There would be pages and some, well, there will be, that basically is the menu button, and then there will be pages underneath that. And then every page should have some content. So at your next session, we are going to teach you how you create these pages and how you populate these pages, because we need to build a repository. And Maritsipi, you are in that exact situation at the moment where the previous chair just disappeared. I imagine there was no handover. So your group has to basically start from scratch. You have not received any of the previous AGM documents, any previous minutes of any committee meetings. We still to this day don't know, does Leslie have a bank account? What is the situation? And if everything was done on the Leslie pages, then you would not have been in the situation you are currently in. So therefore, we have made it compulsory that all branches and interest groups need to use this. We have also found that many branches and interest groups, they, with the best intentions, they start a Google Drive, save documents on there, or a Dropbox, or it's on a memory stick. And it gets corrupted, passwords are lost, people move away, all sorts of things can happen, and then that whole history of that branch or interest group is lost. So this is where all this is going to happen. But I do want to show you IGBIS, because the previous committee has worked really hard. And as you can see, it looks slightly different. They have beautified it. It's all there. There's some photos that they've uploaded to the gallery. They have created some separate links on the page, similar to the group pages. And all the information is here. So if we look at the workshops, forums, and training events, past events, that was last year's webinar. That was just the restructuring in DABA, so not their event, but that app uploaded it. That was the first webinar they had after COVID hit us. And before that, remember that I had a 2-day forum at a outside venue, and they have linked all the presentations for these forums. So if anybody needs to go back and say that, well, in 2017, I attended an IGBIS forum and there was a very good presentation, I need a copy of that, they will go to this page, click on the event or the link, and they will have the PowerPoint for that. So all that you can find under groups. Just one last thing I want to show you about groups. So none of you will have access to executive committee, though on Rep Council will be able to go to the Rep Council tab. So it will look like, for instance, this training profile does not have access to the task teams. South African Library Week organizing team. So if I click on that, you will get a private message. So Ugo, who is a member of the Library Week organizing team, probably will have access to that page. However, I'm not sure if anything has been loaded there yet. But again, it needs to be uploaded actually every time after a meeting, for instance, minutes and so on, that everybody has access to it. So that was just groups. Then we have our members button. Again, I'm not going to go through absolutely everything, anything to do with membership and application and renewal, any questions you might get from other members, you will find answers there. We have the Meet the Members. That was a campaign we started last year and will continue from February onwards. I think a few of you are here already. If you want to upload your information, scroll to right to the bottom, upload it, and we will introduce you to the members. There's Maritsipi for us. Right, how to guide. So on the How to Guides tab, we have a number of videos. It is short, less than 5-minute videos on a topic, a single topic. I'm just showing you how to search for a vacancy. For instance, what I showed you a few moments ago, or where to find your invoices, which I will show you in a moment. So short little topics. We know people don't have lots of time. And if you just need to review something, we have created a few how-to videos. Same with these, the guides are just a PDF format. So we have found that people prefer the videos because they can see where the mouse is moving. However, if you don't have that functionality, there are a few how-to guides in PDF format as well. And then there are a few items for group administrators, which we typically, I think we have already checked the calendar. So we've already done that, but these things we will look at the next session. Right, that basically is it for members. Again, go into these tabs, see what is there, help us keep it current. It will also help you in future. Then we have contacts, self-explanatory. If you need contacts for a branch person or an interest group person, they all are listed here. And then My Profile. So under the My Profile tab, we have Profile Home and Manage Profile. So the profile home is just a short little overview, especially if you go to bio. It will give the last time it was updated, the membership number, your name, the category that you are, individual member, professional librarian, pensioner, whatever the category is, as well as your email address, and then your personal details. So here you will see where it says not visible to others. Later this year, we are going to make connections between, well, you will be able to make connections between other members, and when they have created pages or have certain things on their profiles that they want to share, you will be able to see it. But where it says not visible to others, nobody ever will see it. And that is typically privileged information like your ID, etc., etc. So if you need to make changes, say for instance, okay, your ID number doesn't change, but say for instance, your telephone number has changed, everywhere you see little edit buttons, so it will take you to an edit screen, and you can just add whatever you need to add. Save the changes, and your profile has been updated. So this is just a little overview of your, especially your bio. So if we go back to my profile, manage profile, this is the page where you will find the wealth of information. So before we look at this in more detail, are there any questions or comments so far? I don't hear anybody, so I'm going to assume that there are no questions or comments. Or am I talking to myself? Have I lost connection?
Mary, it's Fatima Daris here. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Hi, Fatima.
I think we have to find the unmute buttons first.
Oh, okay.
I was just wondering if the session will, I see that it is being recorded. Will it be made available to us?
Absolutely, yes.
Thank you.
Definitely, we'll do that. Any other questions or comments? No. Okay, again, at any time, just stop me, just chip in. I can't always see the hands or the chat, so just stop me and we can answer the questions or explain or whatever we need to do. So again, for the sake of time, we're not going to go into each and every one of these, but do play around with it and see what is there. But those that are most important, we will have a quick look at. So at the very first one, we're going to look under information and settings. We're going to look at edit bio. And this is exactly what we have seen, where you can edit anything on your profile. If you need to change your username, currently most people have their your membership number as your username. You can change that there. As you can see on this example, we cannot see passwords, you cannot see passwords. So if you need to change your password, you can request through the link that you get a link to change your password. If you request it through the office, we will reset your password to a generic password. Once you have then signed into your profile, you need to come to this page and change your password here to something that is less generic and easier for people to remember. Email preferences, if you know we have 5 email lists, so industry-related conferences, events, the general one that we used most often, MyLIASA Online, In Memoriam, and vendor news. So if you want to unsubscribe from any of these lists, you just go to email preferences, untick whichever ones you don't want information from, or you don't want to get emails for, or tick any that you are not currently ticked, and click Save Preferences, and it was updated. So that is on your profile. Other than that, it's very much boilerplate. It's up to you to make changes when something changes, when a phone number changes or something. We have found quite a number of people that have had to change their T-shirt sizes, after COVID. Not all changed up. There are quite a few people that have changed down as well. Next we have, okay, we're not going to look into those, but again, play around, see what is there. The next option, invoicing, payments, and history. At the invoices option, you have two options for your store order and events invoices and your dues invoices. So the dues, the membership invoices, if we click on that one, you filter by status. If there are any open invoices, so open is the default, it would be listed there. In this example, there are no open invoices, so we're just going to filter it by any status, and it would show us all our invoices, all our past invoices. So first you have your option for print or view your invoices. We'll look at that in a moment. The order date or the invoice date, the status. So if it's closed, it means that it has been paid. If it's open, it has not been paid. Name on the invoice type, and on store events, we'll see there are two different types, the total, and if something is still owed on that invoice. So just to view the invoice, you just click on the little icon for view print invoice, and it would open your invoice for you. You scroll down to the bottom. If you need to print it, your print button, but you can also save it as a PDF if you have the option, or some have the option of save to Microsoft PDF or something like that. So if you have that, you can also save it. So basically that button, let me just cancel that. That little print button should have said print/save and not just print. But if you need to print it, that is where you will do that. So let's have a quick look at the store and events tab. So again, it filters by default by open, and let's do any status. Right, so again, we have a copy of the invoice. You click on the little icon and the invoice will open up for you. So again, the status, shipped or closed. So if the word close is there, it would mean that the invoice was paid, the name on the invoice. And here we can see we have store order invoice and event registration. So if you bought something from the online store, it would be a store order. If we had paid events, then it would be an event registration. And you can get copies, the total, and the balance due for that. It would probably be faster just to go to my profile, manage profile. So that was invoices. So the membership option would just give you a list of all your memberships. So if you look here under membership, you can see that it was the 2019 dues, 2020 dues, 2021 dues. So you will have an entire list of all your membership years that you have been a member, and you will have an option to print or preview your invoice again. It will also tell you in this little blue box, your membership is current through and the date that it expires. So if it currently says 2021, then you still need to pay your membership for 2022. Event registrations. This will give you a list of all the events that you registered for. So we can see here, it is basically not a past event, the Healy Coffee Talk, which will be at 2 o'clock this afternoon. So this training profile registered for that. They registered for the PACLIC webinar, a whole bunch of AGMs. Let's go down past all the AGMs. There was the IGBIS webinar on the 31st of August last year. There was the ILIG webinar on the 17th of August last year, another Healy Coffee Talk for the 6th of August last year. So this is very helpful Again, you can print it if you want. It's very helpful if you, for instance, need to do a report on all the LIASA events that you attended, maybe for your professional development plan or your monthly review, your monthly report to your line manager, or your annual report to your to your line manager. So if you need a record of all that, you will have it here. Next, content and features. If there are any pages on the LIASA website that you want to save as a favorite page, maybe it's something that you use very often and you can't find it easy on the front end, you can mark it as a favorite. Let's just open a new tab. That one, I just want to quickly show you where to find it. Whoopsie. Okay, no, that would work. Right, so you see that little grayed out little button or star. So if you click on that, a little pop-up will pop up, and then you can just give it a name, the category. So let's do just training. So you can create your own categories, and then you can say share it or no, keep it private. Remember there in the written in red on your profile, it says not visible to others. So it's the same thing. So once we start with making connections between members, if you don't want people to see your favorite pages, you just say no, keep it private. If you want to share it with everybody that then would visit your profile, you can share it. You click submit. And now if we go to the favorites page, so projects and programs that we have added, and you can just click through from this page to any of the pages that you have listed under your favorites. So just a little easy way to find pages on the LIASA website. So currently we're not using blogs and forums yet. So the forums are later on. So we probably will start using that maybe later in the year, and then we will look at the blogs and forums. If you are an avid photographer and you have lots of photographs that you have taken at events, LIASA events or other events that you want to upload it, you can do that at the photo gallery. So remember, this part is for yourself, not for the group. So there's a different place where you will upload photographs for the group that, for instance, was taken at the IFCAS forum, or if Leslie or Northwest had a event and you have taken official photos for that event, there's a different place. So these are your own photos that you want to keep yourself. You upload it to the photo gallery. Professional development, that is where you will see what professional development you have done. So if you have not been awarded or you have not applied for the designation for professional librarian, that button probably will not show up on your screen. So if you have received or was awarded the designation, you just click on professional development under content and features, and this page will open up. So here you will see, if we look at this bottom part first, all the professional development that you have done so far. The bottom part, everything down here, you will see the expiry date. It has passed. So the first 3 years, so if you remember, you are awarded your designation for 3 years, and then it is renewed for a further 3 years. And so we continue. So the first 3 years have already expired. Therefore, these have expired. And as in this example, they have to start from scratch, building up their 20 points. Now, the buttons next to each line item, so you can print. So this one, test article in the LIT. If you need a copy of that, maybe again for a PDP or a review, performance review or something, you can also email it to yourself. If there is a little padlock, then it means that it was reviewed by the professional body committee and they have approved the entry and it's locked, so no changes can be made. We can also see there are others that have different icons. So again, you can print, you can email it to yourself. Because it was not locked, changes can still be made, so you can still edit it. If you need to delete it for whatever reason, you can still delete it if you want. And this little person icon just says that the member entered this entry themselves. It was not done by the office. So always keep in mind that the CPD points, you don't only get it from LIASA events. That would be any training or webinar or workshop or conference that you attended in the LIS field. It's not only just LIASA events, because institutions do so much and you attend webinars or conferences in your field by other institutions or other service providers as well. So you can also claim CPD points for those. And I'm going to show you in a moment how you can add those yourself. So exactly the same as here, we have buttons here at the top. So you can export all entries if you want, but you can also print the transcript. So if you print here, it only prints that single line item. While if you print the transcript, it will print everything that has not expired yet. So expired items, you can't print it by just a click of a button. That you can search through the filters. You can search date to date, and that way you can get expired items. Then you print filtered entries. Otherwise, just print, or you can email the transcript. That will then email those 4 items to you. Before I show you how to add entries yourself, any questions? Okay.
None from my side for now.
Thanks, Ugo. Right. Adding an entry. Just click on add an entry at the green plus sign. You get a little pop-up box. Is this entry for a certificate or a program? You can say yes or no. It doesn't really matter. It will be reviewed by the committee anyway to make sure that the points, etc., are all there, or that it is correct. So you can say yes or no. If you say no, then there is one less field to fill in that doesn't really have anything. So let's just tick no. Then the credit type, so that is pre-decided. You just see in which category it falls. You know, we have all the publishing. If you publish an article in the LIASA in Touch, if there was an industry-related workshop, for instance, LIASA workshop. So in whichever category it falls best, you just tick that you selected the correct one. So what shall we select? Let's do journal articles. Entry date, you can leave that as today's date, or you can, if it happened in the past, you can change it to the date that it actually happened, or up to you. Then you can add a little description, published an article in Sage List. I didn't, but yeah, we use that for an example. Then you can allocate credits. Again, it will be reviewed. So if you don't know exactly how many credits, don't worry, it will be reviewed. You will get the correct number of credits. On the members option that we can't see at the moment, and it's not going to show up, there was professional development, if you remember correctly. And one of the options under professional body and designations is the CPD activities and points. So if you want to check how much you think you should get, you can just go there and grab the points from there. Otherwise, you can just put 1, you can put 0, you can put 100, you can put whatever you want. It will be reviewed by the committee, and the correct number of points will be included. Then the expiry date. The expiry date is 3 years from the date that you got your last you last were awarded the designation. So in this case, quite a number of people will have the expiry date of the 30th of September 2024, because all the designations were re-awarded on the 1st of October 2021. Therefore, 3 years from then. If you don't know the dates, just put any date in the future and we will correct it when the entry is reviewed. Then the next two options, score and activity code, we're not using. I just want to explain, for instance, the score. If we decide, for instance, that all Rep Council members need to know the LIASA Constitution back to front, we're going to do a quiz, and we are going to say that anybody that scored lower than 70% cannot earn CPD points for that quiz. If you scored 70 and higher, you can earn a CPD point, for instance. So now we set it up, we sent everybody the link, and everybody fill in the quiz, and you get 69, then unfortunately all this is not going to happen. So it's an automatic process. However, now you know the Constitution back to front, you got 90%, then it will insert the score and you will be able to, or the program will automatically allocate a point for you and your score will be visible. So, but as I said, currently we don't use it. We don't have any such quizzes on the website or available. We don't know, maybe we will do this example of the Constitution and then the score will be added. Again, activity code, we don't use it. We do not have that many activities, but if in future, if we start using that, we will let everybody know. If you have updated anything that is not LIASA related, obviously we need some proof. If you, for instance, in this example, we say we published in Sageless, then we will need a copy of the article. Or if you presented at a conference, you can upload the program where your name is on. Or if you attended a conference, you can, if you got a certificate of attendance, you will upload that. Or if you signed attendance registered, ask them for a copy of that and you upload that. You merely click on choose file. Your document manager will open, select the folder or the item you want to upload, and it would upload there. As you can see, you can upload multiple files. So as much proof as you can provide, you can upload. You click submit. And it's submitting. There we go. And now your item was added. So somebody from the committee will now go through all these items and make sure that the points are allocated and then log the entry. Right. So that was about professional development. Any questions about that? Nothing. Okie dokie. We're not going to look at networks, pages, files, links, and ideas box. Remember, the ideas box was up there as well. We're not currently using that, but feel free to play around and see what is happening. Before we look at the community, that will be our last page. Just quickly, network and careers. I think some of you might have another option here, which currently on this profile, it's not there. I must change the profile that it is there. If you want to upload your resume or your CV, you can do that. However, be aware that it doesn't go further than that because of POPIA. We cannot make it openly available on the website. We cannot send it on your behalf to possible employers. So currently it is a place where you can store your information. It is merely a form that you need to fill in. All sorts of items that they are asking. You fill in what is relevant to you. You can attach a hard copy or a soft copy of the document and you submit the CV if you want to. So yeah, just be aware that it doesn't go further than your profile because of POPIA. We are not allowed to distribute it on your behalf. The community section, And we're going to play around on the community section much more in the second session, because in this section, it is less about just you, even though it still is your community, but as a BEC member or an interest group executive member, this is your community that you are responsible for, and that is where we're going to play around next session. Just quickly, 2 things that we want to check. It's messaging. If you are a member of YELIC, you will remember, I think it was last week, was it this week? Last week, I think, Lynn sent you a message. You got a message in your emails that says, Lynn Kleinfeld has sent you a message, and click on this link to go to the message center. So this is the message center where Lynn sent the message from. So as the chair or the PRO or the secretary or whoever you decide in your PEC or interest group executive committee, whoever is responsible for communicating with the members, that is where you will find all the messages that you receive and all the messages that you send. But don't worry, we're going to train you, and you're going to send some messages at the next session. Right, so the inbox will show all the messages that you receive. Let's just look at that. So there's the message. Lynn's message was nice and long. It introduced the members. It also gave a list of events that he planned. And then, let's go back one more. You also have the sent messages, and that is just messages that you have sent out. So that is, oh, there we go. No, that's not where I want to be. Oh, there we go. That's where I wanted to be on this page. So that is the message center. So if now, for instance, you want to go back to Lynn's message, but you have by accident deleted your email with the link, then you know where to find it. You go to My Profile, Manage Profile, scroll all the way down to Community, Messaging, and you find it in there. Then the very last thing we want to look at today is the groups. And we're going to work much more on groups at the next session. So the groups would show all the groups that you as a member belong to. So in this example, for instance, the branch, which is also always indicated by the little yellow star. So you will have an actual branch and not for admin purposes only. So you will have an actual branch listed there. Make sure that your branch is correct. You will have certain committees there, and most of you, I don't know if I fixed yours yet. If you have a test group, if you don't have a test group, it will be there for the next session, and then your test group should have a group admin icon next to it. Also, if you belong to any communities of practice, and then the interest groups that you subscribe to are all listed here. So in my example, you can see the Wikimedia projects, for instance, there is no icon next to it. So that basically means that I am not an administrator for that. However, for the test group, there is a little person icon next to it, and that would mean that I am a group administrator, which means I can create and make changes to that group's macro websites information. All these pages that we looked at under groups. So that is what indicates that you can work on those websites. So when we do the training, you will be made a member of the test group that we can practice in a safe environment. And you will then also be made a member of your own group that you can then communicate and interact and upload for your own group once you are confident that you don't have to play on the test group. So, but going further than that, you can click on that if you want to, go into your various groups if you want to, but we are going to go from this point forward at the next session and see how we use this My Groups page to get to where we want to change anything for anybody. That was the end of my stories. Any comments and questions?
No questions. I quite understand it all because I think I've I've been running through the site for quite a long time when it was being created. So I think I'm a bit familiar with most of the things. It's just the new admin setup and all that. But yeah, I would just have to look through that again.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah.
Great. All right. Yeah. So for the next session, we're actually going to work hands-on. All of you will be required to send messages. There are various ways that you can communicate with the members, and we're going to teach you the 4 ways that you can communicate with the members. You will have to send messages, and you will also have to create a page, upload a document or something, and make hyperlinks. So we're going to teach you all that in the next session. And so make sure that you have connectivity and that you are on a device that you can actually do that. So yeah, if there are no other questions, again, if you get stuck, contact us at the office. We can help you. As Ugo did, play around, go into all these little options and see what it does. Play around. You can't delete the internet. You can't break the internet. If you delete something, make sure that you only delete what you've uploaded. But I don't think you can, for instance, delete your profile. I don't think you can do that on the front end. But yeah, play around, see what it is there. There are lots of things that are very helpful for reports, etc. And when you have lost an invoice or an email or something. And also check through what is available on the black menu ribbon. All those options also very helpful. Any other questions?
Not from my end. I think you explained everything very comprehensively. Thank you, Anna Marie.
Awesome.
Appreciate
Great.
that.
Thanks, Sarah. Great.
Yeah, there's nothing from my side either. Thank you very much. It was quite interesting to find out what is all available.
Great. Glad to hear that. Awesome. Right. If there are no other questions, thank you very much for your time. So, Igbis, we will find a new time for you. You're welcome to still join us on Friday if your diary is available. If not, we will find a new time for the group. I don't mind. We can see what we can do for you guys. And for the rest, Maritsipi, Ugo, I definitely will see you on Friday at 12. And then we're going to play around.
Okay, thank you.
Great. Thanks, everybody. Keep well. And I will send the recording probably in an hour or so.
Thanks very much, Anna Marie.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye.